So today we got ourselves the Max 86 Hero Player Pack. Now, the question is A, is it worth it? And B, what's the best ones you can get from it? Now, obviously, it's going to come in under 2 SBCs. We've got an 85 with a Team of the Week and an 86 with 187 and above, which, to be honest, is expensive if you don't get anybody good. Spoiler, I didn't. But in general, in terms of the SBC, when you do look at it, we've got it coming in at a whopping, flipping 88,000. I mean, in its entirety, that isn't the worst in the world. We've definitely seen them higher priced, and for the context of what you could get back, if you did just look at a price point in general, we've got Matuidi at $1 million, Ramirez at $1 million, Alwaran at 470, Dumbier at 468. I will clarify, we've got 33 different heroes that you can get. And then, so you've got pretty much, if you kind of get them, you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, where we go, 14, 16. So if you're looking for coins, head over to eldorado.gg. There is huge amounts of verified sellers on Eldorado, and there is a money back guaranteed by TradeShield. If that's not enough, there is 24/7 live support and also plenty of reviews across websites that will definitely put your mind at ease. And as always, before you check out, make sure that you are using the code JT11 for 5% off every single order. Back to the video. You're kind of pushing about 18 to 20, depending on the value, that are more expensive. And I can tell you, I got the other 13. Now, in general, when you do look at these prices and think who's going to be the better card in itself, it all depends on your team, and I think most definitely when you do look at heroes in general, they are decent for the start of the game. Like, Nakata wasn't my first one, obviously, is 87. He was one that I did manage to pack, so I suppose I took the look out of it a little bit. Now, unfortunately, if you don't want spoilers, if you want to check the shorts out, I ended up with our boy, Kanu. Fantastic. About 30,000 coins. So in terms of the value, I mean, I get to play with him a little bit. He goes into a Prem team. Maybe I throw him into the gauntlet. So if you take a silver lining with it, most of these players are at least on, say, if I was going for like a tier list, usable, very usable. Because in general, they are better than your average Joes. So at least there is something with them. Now, as a progression of meta, probably not. So we're going to have a look and kind of go through the rankings of all of them. Because naturally, I do like to do the kind of tier list format with all of these, but when it comes to the max ratings, like, it doesn't seem like it needs a really official one, kind of just running through the players that you can go with. And if we could take a spin on some of these lower priced cards, now obviously when it comes to actually on the game, literally I got the lowest, so I need to try a second account to see if I can get anybody better. But naturally, when you do look at kind of like the lowest of the lows and think, okay, well, is there a spin that you could put on it that makes it at least semi-acceptable? So we'll go into loans and just have a look and see what we can kind of go. So go concept on. If we was to kind of take, we've got Kano up first. Now, obviously for him, he's just not necessarily a crazy striker. Now, taking a good spin on him, he's going to be solid on the shooting, pace is a little bit lacking, great first touch, good composure. As a hold-up striker, might not be terrible to start with. Now, obviously, the big thing with him as a striker, no playstyles with the striking ability, with finishing. That's going to be a bit of a kind of a negative to him. And he has got the False 9++. It's not really going to work in my boat there. Then, obviously, we've got an 85. We've obviously got Cahill. He's coming in as the second lowest at 32.5. Personally, with him, he's got the Precision Header Plus, which, to be fair, at all accounts, isn't terrible. Now, I would prefer this on someone like a Crouch, someone like a Haaland, who's going to actually rise above a lot of these players. I tried Shearer with a Precision Header, and it's good if you do get the head, but there's by no means, it's not an aerial, like it's not a dueling ability. Now, that mixed with like an Aerial Fortress might have a little bit of legs. At least he does have the power shot, the low driven and acrobatic on the playstyles. I say a little bit quicker, one pace quicker. Composure's a little bit shot. I'd actually be more disappointed with Cahill than Kanu at this point, even with the precision heading, because I don't really cross it that much, and everything is kind of a little bit stinky, other than maybe the physicality of him. So he'd be kind of a lower tier. He'd be unfortunately a bit of a miss. Now, Noor came in as kind of like your saving grace to the Saudis. We have another Saudi player before the league got crazy and everybody's there now. Noor was kind of that cam that you could throw in with Al Waran and also with Al Jabba to add them links to it. Now, again, very standard. You can kind of see why he's on the lower category. Press proven, incisive, whipped, and what is it? Is it gay? Innovative. That's going to get me at one point. So, in general, he's got the playmaker. Again, in a Saudi team, it's not the worst option. Now, obviously, you are kind of wanting some of the bigger prices, which is, by mean, kind of always wanted as such. You look at somebody like Beasley. Now, I would kind of accept him, to be honest. He's coming in as a little bit of a win. 72.5. I think if I was that close to the actual value of the SBC, I wouldn't be too minded. 3-star, 5-star. There's a chance that he reaches the first evolution first. Obviously, with the 3-star skills, if we could get it up to 4, would be phenomenal. Pace-wise, incredible. Shooting could do with an upgrade. Dribbling's nice. Physicality a little bit lacking as well. We've got the rapid, quick step, relentless combination. And he's got the wide midfielder plus, the winger plus. So he's a very standard winger, and the kind of problem is you've got Swanson, who's outrageous. You've got Rodman, that's really good as well. There's quite a lot of American wingers that you can get that are very decent across the board, and go literally the other side into the right wing. Pulisic is absolutely doing crazy. Now, whether he can play left wing, I actually don't know, but I know in previous FIFAs he has been able to. Now, Doumbia is probably one of the better wins in this, to be honest. I think Doumbia most definitely is one of the higher ones. He's coming in as the 3rd highest at 473. I mean, well, 484 at this point. I mean, there's no kind of debate. Like, he is going to be incredible. Serie A striker, 5'10 with a 4'4. Great pace, decent shooting, good amount of dribbling, nothing too crazy. Stamina's great as well. Quick step with a finesse on the normal. First touch, everything you need. And also the advanced forward plus. He ticks every box. So obviously, one of the best ones that you could personally get. Then obviously we look at someone like El Waran. Again, another higher priced one. He doesn't quite have that same feeling about him. Now we've got a lot of wingers that do have this technical ability as well as pace. But in general, for a start game, he's coming in at 460, 4'4". Everything's in the right order. Little bit of shooting as well, which is nice. It's not all just massive amounts of pace. He's got a bit of passing, dribbling's good, bit of physicality, and then he's got the rapid quick step combination. So again, we'd want more play styles in that kind of role, but he's got everything you need. Inside forward plus. He's the perfect winger that you could get to start with. Peter Crouch. In fact, I am more cheaper than Peter Crouch. That is outrageous. How much is he? 50,000 coins. I mean, acrobatic, it says it all. My man Peter Crouch is absolutely killing it. What is he, 6'7", is he? 6'7". You will definitely get some evolutions for him. Yes, he's going to be a certain play style. He's not necessarily going to be everybody's cup of tea. He's a nostalgic merchant, just purely from the personality, the character of him. Everyone would love him in the team. He's a go of it. So he's, again, not necessarily one that I'd take a spin on. I'd still be disappointed to get him, because naturally I want the higher rated and higher price cards, but he's not the worst option. Clearly by price, he's most definitely, he's more expensive than my one, which has really put me in a bad mood. Now, moving on to Gervinho, a beautiful card. Now, again, like Doumbia, he's going to be absolutely up there. He's coming in at 320 at the moment. 4-star, 3-star, explosive left and right wing that you can go with the rapid plus. Pace is there, shooting's definitely on the downgrade there, but we've got great dribbling, composure questionable, but we can upgrade that this year, and just naturally needs just a little bit more shooting. But when it comes to a winger-esque sort of card, especially in the Serie A, he is going to be the answers. And I don't remember, other than like Leao, who's an 84, I don't think there's many Serie A wingers that are in that top level anymore. Kvaratskhelia was one of them, but obviously moving to PSG, I'm probably missing somebody, but naturally always going to be a nice card. And their counterpart, the trio from last year, Ababo, coming in as well with a 3-4, lengthy 6'2 right wing. He's got the quick step plus, which is always a fan favourite. Bit more shooting, composure's absolutely shot. So chemistry style for that one would be fantastic. And he's coming in a little bit higher than, well, I say a little bit, 15k more at 335. Obviously, play style is very much around here. We've got the Enforcer as well for a bit of physicality and the inside plus. So definitely on the bigger win, in my opinion. And I think you are just going to categorize these a lot of the time by just general price, because naturally they're going to be what you personally want. Any sort of higher prices, you'd imagine they are better. A Ramirez is going to be a better card than a Kanu. I don't really need to even involve the prices to know that, but when you see that there's a 980k difference, you could kind of imagine why. If somebody can get to 32k at this point in the game, there is a reason why they're so low and why they're not so high. Tim Howard, I'm pretty sure if he's not dropped in value now, he was at about 100k like 2 days ago at about 83. I don't think it's the worst one in the world, to be fair. If you're still rocking a keeper, needing into that upgrade, I wouldn't be too mad with him. Now, I've just bought Allison, so whether I would change him for Howard if I managed to get him untradeable as such, or utilized him in the gauntlet as a second keeper, it's definitely a nice keeper to get. He hopefully will get upgrades this year, because quite literally he got absolutely nothing last year. He really didn't get a single upgrade, I don't think. So that is just a little bit shocking to bring a brand new keeper in and do practically nothing with him. Now, obviously, it's very standard with a keeper. There's nothing really too much to kind of say. Dempsey coming in. Again, another one of the cheaper ones, I believe. He's coming in at a whopping, if I drop down, or is he? Yeah, 55.5, so just a little bit more than Crouch. Again, not terrible. I think as a cam for the USA, you've got lots of kind of USA cards that are coming in. Like I say, Swanson, Rodman, Beasley, if you really want. You'd obviously go Pulisic in that kind of category. There's a few that could do with a nice link in the USA. So again, I could change the spin for a gauntlet. And I think that's the good thing about having that gauntlet. Not only the fact that we only have 3 rounds at the moment. Could it upgrade? I don't know if there's been a max amount put on it, but if there was 5 or 6 teams, 5 rounds, 6 rounds where you've got to change the team every time, this is going to be a great SBC to actually finish for it. Now, he's got stats across the board. I don't think he's a terrible one. Acrobatic plus could be better, and he's got the technical, so we could do with some play styles. But in general, I don't think he'd be the worst option you could get for the price. Like 55, okay, but he's not necessarily the worst. We then also have Tim Cahill, which is going to be the next. And then we move up to Scott. Now, Scott is coming in. I want to say she was moderate. 85. Again, right back. Fullbacks, I did a tier list on them today. We didn't include the hero or icons because we didn't have a hero pack yet. So that kind of like put eggs on my face. But in general, I don't think she's terrible. She's not necessarily going to take over a lot of right backs, but she definitely plonks herself straight in the middle and at a solid level. 3-star, 4-star, 5-4 with herself the Jockey Plus, which is one of my favourites on a fullback, especially with the wingers liking to cut in or cut down the byline. You kind of have that ability to be able to kind of crab walk across, which I think is nice in this era where dribbling is just doing circles until they bite. So it actually works out quite well for her. Anticipate on their relentless whipped pass, attacking wingback plus, so it obviously settles for a lot of people with that kind of fullback mentality. We also have Guti, who's, I think he's kind of in that middle sort of price at 116. I quite liked him as a cam last year. I thought he was a nice addition to the Ultimate Team. You got a 4-star, 3-star, Incisive Plus, which I think is fantastic. Passing's obviously on a very high level. Pace a little bit lower, but he is more known as the passing dribbler. More so than anything, he's going to be that quick, concise, very strafe dribbling, more so than anything. So he's an easy one to say. He'd definitely be a win in my opinion. Dudek, another one. I think he's going to be up there. I think price-wise, he's quite cheap. I don't think he's coming in crazy price at 61,000. So just 20k short of Howard. I mean, I'd be happy with both of them in terms of exactly the same as Howard. A gauntlet team, if you've got another kind of prem team that you need to throw in there, maybe you just want to sell your keeper that you've bought and you can go ahead and whack him in. I don't think he's a bad option. Now, he's got obviously the rush out, which was one of my personal favorites last year, the 1v1 close down as they call it now. But I do think it's a great play style plus. It gets people out, and he's got the Goalkeeper plus, which is my personal one to go for, and I think most people's one to go for when it comes to goalkeepers. We have Bon Pastor, who had a bad start last year. This year, not as bad, but still not absolutely crazy. We're coming in at 124, so a decent price across the board. 3-3, solid stats across the middle. Obviously coming in as the left back more so than the left mid, but even then, she's got a bit of shot power and long shot on her, so could have that possibility of a left mid. We've got great dribbling, decent defending, decent amount of passing as well, I suppose. And then we've got a decent amount of play styles. You've obviously got quick step relentless. You've got press, prove and anticipate, incisive and dead ball alongside the whipped pass plus. We've got the winger plus and the attacking wingback plus. I'd say in a slight win, personally, for me. We then also go to our boy Jamie, coming in at a whopping, I saw him down on the lower category, 60,000 coins. Again, I wouldn't be too mad. I think he'd definitely be in the kind of moderate, like you'd take the loss, but you've got a centre-back in there. He can play left-back, right-back if you really want to. Whether I'd go with him at that position, I personally think centre-back is really the only thing I could go with just because of that agility balance. Even with a chem style, it's not going to put him up enough to warrant, but his defending and physical ability is second to none. He's got the block, he's got the jockey and the slide tackle. An evolution with either roles, which Defender plus plus is perfect for me, but even then, if he was going to be able to get, for instance, any of these Anticipator Interceptors playstyles, I wouldn't be too mad with this card. Williams, again, another lower one more than anything, 66.5 at the moment. We've obviously got the innovative. Honestly, I'm not going to be able to say that word. But in terms of that, you got fancy passes, outside of the foot passes, performed with even greater accuracy, performs animations when and as such. So standard in terms of that, it's kind of just more of like a cam creative role more than anything. But she is a centre mid or DM. You've got a bit of shooting. I would play her as an attacking midfielder more so than anything. And even then, stats wise, looking pretty good. To say she's 66.5, we've seen a lot of WSL players come in and they've done pretty well. We've seen obviously the NWSL coming in. Is it that one? Yeah, the American League for women with obviously Smith, with Swanson, with Rodman. They've done really, really well. And even then, looking at Reeton, looking at Kerr, and James as well, I suppose, in that same category. And even Scott, if you want to throw her in there. 5-star weak foot. Again, not terrible. Ollie, on the other hand, I mean, he's 82.5. He's kind of there. He's the saving grace for him is the finesse shot is still absolutely crazy. More so in the box. I think in the box it's absolutely brilliant. Outside it is very questionable. Now, I've tried it with Isaac. He's obviously got, I mean, he's not got much shooting, less than that to be honest. But in general, he's going to have that ability in and around the box that will be fantastic. He's got great composure. I'd actually put him as a kind of a dub, to be honest. With the finesse, you don't see it much going on. He's got himself the low driven and first touch. Poacher plus plus, only downside, but again, you will be able to get them rolls very, very quickly. We've already seen an 84 with a roll plus, so it won't be long until we can get that plus plus, so I'd be pretty happy with him. Now, Rosicki's, unfortunately, he's just always one of them ones that just doesn't get the love. He's coming in at 83.5. As a starting cam, he won't be awful. Give him a month, and yes, he won't be in the team as such, but by then, whether we see another upgrade from him, another hero upgrade to kind of give ourselves another chance, I don't think he'd be awful if you're running a second team, and it's predominantly what a lot of these lower cards are. Realistically, he would be a slight dub because he's coming in at the value of the SBC, but then I'd imagine there's a lot of people that just wouldn't play him over their original cams they've got. I personally have Marmouche there, and he is outrageously good. Now, he doesn't have the Shadow Striker Plus, which would have been kind of the only saving grace for how I play with that singular cam, but there is loads of different ways and formations, and I think with everything he's got, I'm not going to say that word again, he's got a solid amount of playstyles as well, so he's always going to be put into a nice category. Jean-Arne Riise, another great card. Love him as a left back. Very much like Scott, there's not a lot of fullbacks. Teo Hernandez moving to the Saudi League has really not done him any favours. And it's just one of them ones that you just throw him in and he's got a good chance of sticking. He's obviously got the pace. He's got a great base across the board. Now, if you could throw him into a centre mid, I don't think it'd be a terrible option. Now, he is a 3-star, 2-star as well, so that would have to be upgraded very soon, especially with a 2-star being weak foot. Agility balance, little bit on the lower side for a fullback. Composure is good enough. He's kind of got good enough stats. It's not necessarily crazy in any avenue, like he's got a mountains amount of pace but no defending. He's kind of just got a standard amount across the board, so you could definitely get away with him. Power shot plus, as much as I get why, I don't think that would be used very much on myself. Like, I don't think my left back is having too much to do with actually shooting, so whether you'd have to manually get him into them roles would be interesting. Lundberg, someone who I completely forgot that was on the game, to be honest. He's going to come in as a standard, 117. He's got the 4-4. He's got the rapid plus. Pace is good. Shooting's okay. Passing's decent. Dribbling's decent. Composure on the medium sort of level. I don't think he'd be awful. He's got chip shot, incisive and long ball. I'd kind of put him as a dub, to be honest. I mean, inside forward would be nice to have, but beggars can't be choosers with him. I think 117 might drop a little bit more. It could be an easy one for people to get compared to the top end, but he's just decent enough. Which then I think takes us to the final ones. We're nearly there. We'll have a look at these and then we've got a final few. Robbie Keane normally is one of the more higher rated. We've got 320 for him. Always a solid striker. The 4-4, he's got himself the chip shot as always. 87, 88, 88. Beautiful attacking attributes. Obviously the composure's coming in high. Great amount of stamina. Surprised this strength isn't necessarily a little bit more, but he's going to be a great striker. For 300k, whether you'd choose him over like an Isaac for the fact that he's like 100 and something k is always within question, but whether we see a massive price drop now is going to be the next sort of point of call really for this. Advanced forward as well is always going to do him well, and to be honest, I think we're going to get the same with the likes of Govu, who's going to be the same. Smolarek is always up there. Govu's coming in. Is he more? He's 378 at the moment. So again, very similar pricing. And to be fair, most of them sort of strikers, there's always like a bunch. Govu, Smolarek, I want to say Papine, who's a little bit more higher rated, and Keane are all around that sort of level. Very good strikers, always nice on the ball. And I think Smolarek again is going to be the same with the press proven, nice and easy to get with, has a little bit more on that pace, does have the 3-3, so he's kind of downgraded in that sort of avenue, and he is the false 9++. So whether you'd kind of take that as a kind of a bit of an L or not, he is still coming in at 330, so we know he's got a little bit about his game. Dirk Kuyt being the last cheap one, I believe, out of what we've got. 54,000. Again, a standard cam. Like, if you're building a Serie A team, an Eredivisie team, he's going to have enough. Like, he's got great shooting. Pace is good enough for a cam. Great dribbling. Decent on the physicality. Play styles are in abundance. Relentless could be better, but it is what it is. He's a standard, solid card. And I think I'd probably prefer him over Kanu at this point, to be fair. Then, if we look at the two big boys then, these are the most expensive that you've got. Obviously, the easy big wins. Matuidi is coming in at 1.03 million. In the update, 1.01 million. Now, he has got the free, which definitely needs an upgrade, to say the least. We got 5'11", we've got the stats, and it's just generically how he plays that will put the mega price on him. The name will help, the actual attributes in game will also help. Some decent play styles across the board, pinged pass is always nice, some good roll pluses, the same as Ramirez, he'll be the exact same. He's got a 4-3 which is slightly better, but then he's got solid stats across the board. He's then got great play styles, chip shot, intercept, bit of slide tackle, press proven, relentless. There's always going to be avenues to upgrade, but for right now, you'd absolutely take it. And even then, King would be the same. He's coming in at 300,000. Anticipate plus, a 4-star weak foot, 6'2" and lengthy, solid pace at 80, great defending at 89, 87 composure. That's a great starter centre-back from this. If you got the King from this, even if you think back to King as kind of like the end of footage where he's not necessarily a 98 right now, as a base card to start with, it's a solid upgrade to most centre-backs that you could have. Whether you have got the best of the best or not, it's a big question. But Gauntlet, if you've got a Virgil and Saliba, for instance, you don't need another centre-back added in. I'd even say he could possibly take over one of them. He's definitely going to be a secondary card that you can definitely rely on. Park Ji-sung, another one that I forgot there was even 86. I thought he was 87 this year, but in general, we've got him at 99,000. He's going to be a workhorse. He's a left mid, but realistically plays in the cam. I do normally like him as a centre mid when they do give him that upgrade, and I do think he's got the stats across the board, which is nice. You'd probably throw an anchor on him in cam, or you just go all out the kind of Hunter sort of style, or even an engine, to be able to give him as much left mid ability that you can. It's just a shame if you don't play that left wing, and say if you don't play the left mid, but you play left wing, he doesn't really suit that style of play. He is very much a centre mid. So until he kind of gets either an extra position or anything like that, that would kind of be my next point of call for him. So he's going to be a solid bench card, I'd imagine, but I wouldn't necessarily see him as a top flight. Donovan at 90, 4-star, 4-star, very much like Dempsey, just a slight upgrade for him. Solid stats across the board. Obviously, his playstyle plus being the first touch is very underrated this year. I think first touch is going to be fantastic for a lot of them pinged passes. To be able to turn on that half-pence is going to be well worth it, to say the least. And he does have that Shadow Striker plus plus, which is going to be a big one in my books. Cap de Villa, another great one, 203. Again, hopefully getting some love this year. He didn't get an upgrade until, I want to say it was literally like a promo before the very end. Now, as a left back stands, Anticipate Plus is nice. Can only play the left back, but he's got everything you need. Decent composure, good amount of pace, passing's there, dribbling's there, defending's there, and a bit of physicality. There's not really too much else to go off with him. Now, obviously, he could do with a bit more defensive play styles, but we will eventually get to that point. And he has got the wing back plus plus more than anything. Kanu, I don't want to see again. We then also have Gully coming in now at 99.5. And I think we've got El Jabba next. We've got 4-4 with him. Acrobatic plus, it's questionable. Good pace, decent shooting, decent passing, good dribbling. A little bit of composure needed to get to more mid to end game sort of level of these sort of base cards. But a solid base to say the least. And with his play styles as well, you'd be very happy with him. I think 99 is pretty decent. Which then kind of leaves us with El Jabba, who I believe is a little bit cheaper. I want to say, is he one of the lowest actually? No, he is one of the lowest. 48.5. Finesse shot's going to get him halfway. Free, could do with that upgrade. Pace is good, shooting's good. Dribbling solid with the composure. He's just going to be a bit of a fall short in front of goal. Whether you can get that ability to kind of get the finesse shots off would kind of then matter of how well he can be utilized. He has got the rapid and power shot as normal play styles. He has got the advanced forward plus. So I think as a 50k striker, if you was kind of putting him in there, I don't think it's the worst. But it's only because you're thinking of the gauntlet. If it was to go main team, unfortunately, there is a lot of strikers that I prefer over him, in my opinion anyway. Now, that is going to be all of the heroes. Obviously, the list is all on Futbin. If you just go over down to the max rating here and just whack in the 86. To be honest, I think the prices is a good thing to go off. But I must admit, even without the prices, if you are running multiple teams for the gauntlet, I think you could make a shout for most, but there is always going to be cheap and expensive players. So let me know who you got down below. I think there's a lot of good ones you can get, and unfortunately, if you're unlucky like me, you might just get the worst price out of there. Make sure you do like and subscribe for that Kanu. Peace.